Today, uh, we are going to be talking about the body. If you are not happy with your body, or if you um, feel like the body or food is your enemy, or you feel as though you could never trust yourself around food, you feel as though you cannot, like I said, trust your body. Are you on a quest to live the best life? And if you are, I can assure you that today you will walk away with some big nuggets. This afternoon, Kat and I uh, are going to give you our best. Um, just a little overview of what this juicy webinar is going to be about. We will be teaching you 2 of 7 ways to heal the relationship you have with your body and to truly be friends with your body for what might be the first time ever. And if implemented correctly, you will be able to understand your body and cultivate and embrace your body. We will dedicate 30 minutes to teaching and an additional 30 minutes to answering any questions you may have. You can ask questions in the chat box, or you can send us directly a message on Facebook if you're watching. Select our names in the box, or whatever works best for you to be able to reach out to us. All right, let me give you a little rundown of the webinar as we move forward. We will be introducing ourselves. Kat Fox teaches on soulful nourishment attractions, and also she will be leading through a special exercise to help you bring and begin to your own journey with your body on home to your own body. After which I will be reviewing some common issues related to the body image in relation to emotions, and teach emotional mindfulness, as well as demonstrating a cool technique called EFT. We also will be leaving the floor open for questions if you have any, or if any comes up at the time. And then we'll wrap things up so we won't keep you here too long. Now that we know what to expect, let me start by introducing myself, after which Kat will do the same. So for those of you who are here and who don't know me, my name is Adelita Rayburn. I know firsthand how frustrating it feels to be stuck and unhappy. As a certified transformational coach and hypnotist who is specialized in relationship and self-love, I help people get free and live their joy. And I do this wholly and solely through mindset, spirituality, and metaphysics. This allows you to become the best version of yourself, which is the key to success. Kat, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. Let me first say I'm so excited to be here with you, Adelita, and to discuss body image and how you can begin healing your relationship to body and food. Um, I'd like to first start by introducing who I am. As you know now that my name is Kat Fox, and I am a certified master level health and life coach, a homeschooling mama, and what I do is I work with women in all different seasons of life to heal their relationship to their body through gratitude work, soulful connection, and rewriting their body legacy so that they can see their worth beyond their outside appearance and live in their fullest expression of self. Today, what I am going to cover with you is one of the key starting points in the work that I do within my own coaching, which is nourishment. So I'm going to ask you to give a raise of hands. How many of you who are showing up today have at some point, or maybe currently do, but have felt that food is the enemy? And I'll give you some time here to kind of tune in and think about that for a moment. And how many of you have felt that your body is the enemy? Chances are most of us. Studies show that 50% of women are regularly dieting, and up to 90% of teenage girls under 13 have tried dieting as well. So teenage girls are dieting on a regular basis, and 50% of girls under 13 are dieting. And guys, that's incredibly just mind-blowing. And that means that collectively, the majority of the female population in our culture is dissatisfied with their body, and food and body have become the enemy. So if you feel uncomfortable, out of control, or distrust yourself around food, this is going to be for you. When we begin healing our relationship to food and body, it is important to remember three main paradigms. One, eating is not a crime, which means that you do not need to feel guilty for eating because you didn't commit a crime. Two, we as humans literally need to eat food to survive. So when you restrict or fast in any sort of way, the body is going to tolerate it for only so long because the primal instinct built into our human bodies is going to take over in order to be sure that you do not die. It's a survival mechanism. And lastly, nourishment goes beyond food. The nourishment piece is what we are working with today. So this is one of the most impactful and healing parts of the work I do in my own coaching. I like to ask, because I'm curious to know, when you hear nourishment, what do you think of? And I'll give you about a minute here to respond. And I'm also going to see if I can pull this up on Facebook yet.
It should be that. I'm seeing that it's live now, so.
Okay. Yeah, I think my phone is just being a little difficult. Adelita, do you see anybody tuning in with what they think for nourishment?
Not so far yet.
Okay. Well, when I first initially started thinking of nourishment, and what many of my clients tend to think when it comes to nourishment is like your food, what you eat. We think in the form of vegetables, fruits, vitamins, minerals, the macros and micros. And while that is indeed a form of nourishment, it is not the only form of nourishment that is essential for your health. Our health can be easily broken up into four main categories. There's the mental health, the brain, your emotional health, how we process thoughts and feelings, physical health. This is your blood pressure, organ health, hormonal health, etc. And then your spiritual health, your connection to that which is greater. And while your physical health is important, if you are off in any of the other areas of health, then your physical health will ultimately suffer. And this is where what I call soulful nourishment comes into play. Soulful nourishment is what feeds you personally, what makes you feel good in your body, what brings you joy and excitement. And here's the thing. We spend so much brain space, time, and energy thinking about the best way to nourish our bodies through food, which is actually a direct result from diet culture, that we forget how important nourishment is in other forms. So soulful nourishment is a holistic approach to health. What this means is we recognize that your body health is not one-dimensional, and it has many different pillars. The mind, body, and soul all work together as one. So think of this like a three-legged stool. If one leg is damaged and breaks off, then the stool cannot stand on its own. So you can eat all the right foods, but still feel incredibly disconnected from your body, feel out of control with food, and lose trust for the body that you are living in. Practice soulful nourishment is to restore a sense of balance. Now, as a mom, I don't believe in the traditional idea of balance. There is always give and take. So when we speak of balance, we are looking at how we can ensure that your cup remains full so that you can continue to pour into the cup of others. We are looking at how we can ensure that all of your needs are honored through enjoying food, self, and life all in one. When we are so focused on how we look and trying to shrink the body through restriction, food rules, excessive exercise, we are unable to keep this cup full. We are unable to show up in our lives in our fullest expression of self And we struggle to manage just the day to day shit, right? I had a client come to me about feeling a lack of fulfillment in life. She felt lost in her purpose and disconnected from her truth. After just 2 months of working together, we uncovered what was really keeping her stuck. She was still basing her happiness off of being successful through dieting. If she could just lose 10 pounds, then she would be worthy of working a job she loved and engaging in hobbies that she enjoyed. If she could shrink her body to be thinner, then she could truly be happy and healthy. The belief that she was holding on to here was that thinness equals health and happiness, when ultimately what she needed was to be nourished in all areas in order to experience optimal health and happiness. In order for her to move past this diet mentality, we had to not only release the food rules, but simultaneously introduce nourishment in other powerful ways. And after practicing this for just 30 days, she began to feel happy in the body that she was in. She left her job to pursue work in a field that she truly loved, and she began to find out who she was again. This is what becomes possible when you practice soulful nourishment. Now, to do this, we must have some sort of a plan in place, and not a diet plan or a workout plan, but rather many of things that you can cycle through on a regular basis. And this is something that we call your personal nourishment menu. Now, let's say, for example, that your personal nourishment menu has 12 activities, practices, or exercises that make you feel good in your body. We can divide those 12 items into our three main categories: mind, body, and soul. The goal is to find 3 activities that you enjoy for each category. And at times, these may intersect, which is perfectly okay. Then each day, you pick from the menu one thing to do. If you get more in a day, great. If not, you know you only needed that one thing in order to feel more at home in your body. I certainly recommend cycling through. So if you pick something from mind, then do body or soul the next day. And kind of play around, feel and find out what feels good. But most importantly, take time to breathe into your body, tune into her to find out what she needs the most that day. We are actually going to go ahead and create this together today. So if you could grab out a piece of paper and a pen, I'll wait just a minute here. Okay. So I also grabbed my piece of paper and a pen so that way I can do it with you, make it really fun and interactive. When you have your pen and paper, go ahead and at the top, just label it my personal nourishment menu or my soulful nourishment menu, something that gets you excited. Okay. Now, I am going to go through each category with you and include about 5 examples for each. You can feel free to use these examples. You could also add your own. Let's go ahead and start with mind. So you can write down mind, maybe underline it. Some examples here would be social media detox. So actually taking a break and disconnecting from the internet or your phone. Journaling, meditation, visualization exercises, and brain dumps, which is where essentially you grab a notebook or a piece of paper and write down everything that's in your head just to get it out and clear that clutter that's taking up your mental space. So take some time to write down 3 that jump out to you, or you could even come up with your own. And then next we have body. So you can write down body, underline that if you would like. Some examples here would be yoga, dancing, a hot bath, massage, drinking a hot cup of tea. Anything that gets you feeling like you are in your body would go under this section. And the third section we have here is soul. So again, you're just going to write down soul, underline it if you would like. And some examples would be painting, reading a book, singing, deep conversation, or maybe even trying a new hobby. So by the time that you are done, you're going to have something that looks a little bit like this. And with my private clients, I will generally take our notes from that particular exercise and create a personalized graphic for their menu and send it to them. This is a fun way to build excitement and implement the things that you chose for your menus. So you can certainly do that if you would like. Otherwise, you could even put them into the notes in your phone so it's super accessible. You could pin the paper to your wall that you already have now. The point is to put it in a place that you can access it easily and remind you to nourish yourself each day. And if you would like to take this a step further, I do have a body liberation meditation that you can have. This is something I created for my own private clients, and I'm offering it for free to you today. So all you have to do is click the link in the comments, which I will get into the comments here in just a moment. And you'll just fill out a short form and it will be sent directly to your inbox. So keep an eye out for that link. And that's all I have for you today. Adelita, would you like to add anything here before we go into emotional mindfulness?
Okay. Super information here, Kat. So many times we look to solve an issue from the outside when the solution is really within. Practically doing these little things constantly leads to big change. And as the saying goes, small hinges swing big doors. We got to start somewhere. And this exercise, Kat, makes me realize that the choice is mine, letting go of the things that keep me stuck and also keeping the things that bring me joy is very important in order to have a great relationship with your body. What do you say, Kat?
Yeah, I 100% agree. And that's something that can be one of the most powerful things that you learn is the power of choice in creating your own personal freedom. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Right. It's a powerful exercise. My clients find nourishing the body and creating a plan a bit challenging, but the most freeing exercise that they have ever done. To be brain dumping and all that stuff. So moving along, your body is not the enemy. That's right, guys. You're hearing me. First of all, I want to thank you guys for those of you who are watching and joined in. And it's my pleasure to host these type of webinars because giving back and sharing these type of information is super, super important and helpful. As a certified life mastery transformational coach and hypnotist that I am, I'm here to tell you something that will blow your mind about you and your body. Today's learning objective is to explore what it means to have a relationship with your body. What is the meaning of relationship in the first place with your body? Well, we can simply say, relate to it, right? Relating to what? The dictionary definition says it's to establish an association or connection or relate to any circumstances or event. And to basically relate to something. So relating to something means to tell a story about it yourself or others, getting into establishment with a connection with it. And it follows that the kind of connection you establish with that object or yourself relating to depend on the story you're telling about it, which brings the question when it comes to relationship with your body and food or life in general. What story are you telling? Stories are so powerful. They can empower or diminish your metabolism. In fact, when it comes to your body and food, and the stories you tell are more impactful on health than anything else, including whatever you drink or eat or the lifestyle habits you have. So let's examine what are some of these stories we tell ourselves, our bodies, and our bodies, that are right now, that we do it in as we speak. So these are some examples of some of the things that we tell ourselves. It says, my body is my enemy, or I'm ashamed of my body, or I refuse to let my body bully me. Like, I heard that one recently and I was like, wow, these are the things we tell ourselves. Skinny people are happier, or I'll be happy when I lose XYZ pounds, or when I gain XYZ pounds. Like, here is a few that I've heard specifically from my male clients. Like, I'm too scrawny, or I look weak. No one can love me the way I am. I'm too ugly to attract anyone, or if I don't look perfect, I'll never succeed. And here is one of the biggest ones so far. If I eat this today, tomorrow I will punish myself with deprivation or militant exercise. Like, oh, I'm going to work hard next week because I ate this bad last week. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to some of these things and come up with some of your own. And so these are stories, like I said, right now, shockingly, people, men and women like ourselves, are telling this to ourselves as we speak. Research shows that a whopping 97% of women, that's like everybody, confess to have at least one hate my body moment a day. The way we talk to ourselves has a dramatic impact on how we feel and relate to our bodies. Language is powerful, very powerful. It can change everything. Like I said earlier, it'll uplift, it'll empower you, and it also can make you feel powerless and defeated. Hearing these negative things, negative conditional message, I call them, over and over again, you start to believe them. We end up alienating ourselves from our own bodies. And what's the worst thing of all is that most of us accept putting ourselves down as the norm. Like, I'm so stupid and these type of stuff. Did you guys know that that's a form of abuse? Yeah, let's investigate this. Consider any negative message that you might tell yourself about your body, or anything that you can come up with negatively when it refers to you. Grab a piece of paper and pen, or I know you already have one because Kat had asked you earlier to write some stuff down. So go ahead and write down some that you are already telling yourself, and because we'll be using them in a few minutes, you'll see why. So now let's consider telling the same negative thing that you're telling yourself to a 5-year-old child. Would you do that? Probably not, right? Then consider that these same punishing thoughts and comments or negative conditional message you're telling yourself, those are self-inflicted violence. It's just like taking a tool, a Gillette or something like that, and cutting your wrist. You're doing the same thing when you do that. So if these are stories you're telling yourself every time you look at your body, or in any area of your life, not even only your body, which happens multiple times every day, then this means that the connection you're establishing with your body is a scolding. It's a should and shouldn't. anger and some type of judgment of your own self. Like I said before, imagine saying these things to a 3 or 5 year old. Would you do that? No, you wouldn't. And if you did, what do you think would happen? It will destroy and stress that child out by hurting them. So, my question is, are the stories you're telling yourself creating more stress or creating less stress in the body? Given what we've learned so far here, every time you say something negative about yourself, then the body creates a stress chemistry which slows down our metabolism and cause the body to store fat. Has you ever heard that stress is the #1 cause of all disease? Yes, stress. Well, this is why. The story we are creating and telling ourselves is causing stress. I coach one of my clients around his image and food. And almost everything he said was a judgment against his own body. And if he could punish himself into changing, he would. So I asked him, when you're at war with your body, who do you think loses? His jaws dropped. He never thought he was fighting a war with his own body and losing it. Isn't that fascinating? You can heal something. You can heal something only through loving it. You cannot heal something through war. So if you want to stop the war with your body, food, health, wealth, spirituality, and overall your life, you need to change the story you're telling yourself. Now, how do we do this? Don't worry, we're going to get there. First step is knowing where that story you're telling yourself is coming from. And key thing is to understand that all stories come from a belief. And whatever we are experiencing is an evidence of what we are believing. So if you want to know what your beliefs are, all you need to do is look around. What are you experiencing? And you can corroborate them and you'll see exactly what you're believing is exactly what you're experiencing. Now, the good news is when you change your belief, you completely change your experience. Now, to do this is by understanding that your belief comes from something called programming, which consists of all the information you have been given about yourself or the world at a very young age. Yup, correctly. And that is a whole nother topic we will be touching on in another webinar. So for now, here I want to go into how is my one way to relate to your body. I will be demonstrating an exercise called EFT, and I will explain how to change the story we're telling ourselves as we upgrade and reframe these stories that we're telling ourselves so we can stop the war with our bodies. What is EFT? The meaning of EFT is emotional freedom technique. This is a technique, is an acupressure technique used by tapping the meridian points. There's points in our bodies that are called meridian points, and that is what we have within, which alters the flow of energy to the body. So what acupressure is somewhat like acupuncture, just that we wouldn't be using needles. Since the body is made up of water and minerals, it creates an electrical current. And this electrical current flow creates a magnetic field around us, and then it creates what is called a piezoelectrical effect. So this means we can easily affect the body's electrical current and electromagnetic field by simply tapping on the different meridian points, which is what I will be teaching you today. So here we are going to take whatever negative story that we wrote down, that I asked about writing down earlier, whatever you're telling yourself that is not positive, and we will transform them into the one you prefer. EFT is such a really cool tool because this helps to facilitate change more quickly. This is a negative thought interruption exercise, as well as tapping is a way to scramble the code in your brain that runs that program and that patterning. So by tapping these points on your body and saying your positive affirmation, the one you prefer, helps to remove emotional and energetic blockages from the body, and it helps restore homeostasis and balance in the body. So, for example, let's say your old story is like, "Oh, no one loves me the way I am." That's like so downing and so derogative. So we want to bring that up into an upgraded version, which would be something like, "Oh, everyone loves me the way I am and appreciate me for who I am." So you see how we brought the negative story up into a positive one. So now, how do we scramble that negative story that we're telling to ourselves? You will say that first. I will be showing you all the meridian points in the body, and then you will be repeating these new um, comments that you make to yourself 3 times. So, for example, and we're not going to be doing it. I'll just like kind of guide you through because it'll take a bit of process. So, the first thing you want to do is write out your positive affirmation. "Oh, I'm too fat." Okay, so the positive to that would be like, "Oh, I love my body just the way it is." And that's a positive one. So first thing you'll do, and you can take a note of this, since I will, like I said, I will not be doing the whole routine because it will take up some time, but I will show you the areas so you can be able to do it when it's most convenient to you. So now let's move into the first point. So your hands, you want to go to your karate chop on your hand, which would be the side. So you're going to use your 2 fingers and you will be tapping on that point and saying that new affirmation. "I love my body the way it is. I love my body the way it is. I love my body the way it is." 3 times. And then you'll move from there and you'll go to the crown of your head, right in the middle. And you will tap there and say the same thing 3 times. And then the third point would be your above your eyebrow, right on the middle of the like your upper eye here. And then you'll move to the side of your eyes and you'll do the same thing, repeating these things 3 times. And then you'll come under your eyes, like right below your above your cheekbone where you can feel it really sensitive. And you'll do that same thing, repeating your positive affirmation 3 times. And then you'll come above your nose, right here. And you can feel when you tap on it, they're really sensitive. Your energy flow points, called meridian points. And then you go under your lip, between your chin and your bottom lip. And then you will come down to your clavicle, like right below your clavicle, right where that sensitive spot is. And you will tap there as well, the same way. Keep tapping for the 3 repetitive new affirmation, positive affirmation. If you feel like you're not getting in there, just get in there good. You can use your fists for this one. And you tap, and then you'll go right below your underarm, under your side, maybe like 4 inches from your underarm. For the women, it's like your bra line. I call it the broad side. And you do the same thing. You can tap with your hands, or you can pound on it, or you can get in there and feel it. And then you'll come back and do it on the other side. The same way, you go here, here, uh, here, here, and do the same routine directly the way I showed you just now. So this technique can be used for any type of belief that you want to change. So if you want to know more about the specific technique, so you can imply it correctly, or even allow me to facilitate you through using algorithm, then feel free to reach out to me by sending me a direct message on Facebook. You send me your phone number and email, and I'll be more than happy to help facilitate this so you can get the best outcome and result that you deserve, because this is super, super a super powerful technique. Like I said, the ancient people, the Mayan people, the Chinese people use acupuncture. This is considered acupressure, just that we don't use needles. So it's highly, it's highly potent. It helps you get to where you want to be faster. So if you really feel like you want to get more help with this, then feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to help you. Kat? All right, so now, Kat, you want to elaborate on that? You're muted? Oh. Can you unmute yourself?
There we go. Okay. Yes, Adelita, that is some really, really powerful, juicy conversation and information that you just provided us. Tapping and the EFT work is something that I have used on myself and my clients. It is so powerful, and I really encourage everybody here today to give it a try at least twice. My husband always says, try something twice before you decide that you don't like it. And in addition to that, too, science has shown that the way we talk to plants impacts the way they grow. And so it would make sense that the way we talk to ourselves also impacts the way we grow. Yeah. So why not talk to yourself in a positive way?
Yeah, that's so right. The feeling that you get after you're done, it's so amazing and relaxing. Tapping and get results, no medication, no nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. We're also going to take some time to answer questions now too. Adelita, I still don't have access to either of the chat forums. So if anybody's sending in questions, if you could just shout those out. And then I also have some questions that were sent in from people that were not able to make it today. So we do have those available. And just so everybody knows as well, you can find me on Facebook and at just Caitlin Nicole Fox, my full name. And then on Instagram, you can find me at FFT by Kat Fox. So you can find me on social media there. Adelita, is there any questions that we can answer right away?
I don't see any at the moment. So let's just go ahead with what we've got earlier. And like I said, just if you have any questions and you feel like you don't want to share it there, feel free to reach out to me at my Facebook. I'm at Instagram, Adele at Heart. at Instagram.com or at Facebook, Adelita Rayburn at Facebook.com. Those are my links as well. So feel free to reach out. I know you'll be watching this down the road. So let's jump right into some of the questions that I had earlier before, Kat.
Yeah, so the first question that was sent in is, how do you know what needs to be nourished? And from my experience, this is all about getting to know your body and reconnecting with your intuition again. And so closing your eyes, taking a nice deep breath, and just releasing any thoughts that you might be having, any feelings that you might be having, and then actually asking your body, what am I needing right now? Am I feeling like I need to do something more soul balancing? Do I need to do something for my mind, my mental health, my emotional health? Or do I just maybe need to eat because I haven't eaten all day? Really tuning in to get to know what your body needs. Adelita, is there anything you'd like to add there?
Yes, Kat, that is super, super important. Um, Knowing and understanding that just connecting with your breath is super key. A lot of times we walk around and we don't even realize that we're breathing. And have you ever got to a point where it's like you all of a sudden you stop and you just have this little moment? That moment is telling you, hey, I'm here, check on my breath, you know. So it's very important to really look into those things and pay attention to your body. Your body is one of the most state of the art map. When I say state of the art map, state of the art, you can get all the answers you need just by paying attention and listening to your body. So,
Yeah, your body is your number one resource, your number one navigation source. It will tell you all that you need to know as long as you're willing to listen.
right. So what's
Yeah.
the next question, Kat?
Let's see here. What happens if I miss a day? Really, this kind of goes back to the food rules. Releasing expectations from yourself is going to be like the best thing you can teach yourself how to do in almost anything that you start doing. And so, whether it's exercising or when it comes to food, I work with my clients a lot on releasing food rules and restriction. What happens if you miss a day is that just means that you needed something else that day. Maybe your body needed rest. Maybe you were really busy, and at the end of the day, you just needed to sit down on the couch and come back into your body for a moment. You can always trust that you're missing a day for a reason because everything happens for you. And so you don't need to make it up the next day. You missed a day, it's done, it's over, you move on. We try not to linger there. Adelita, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, that's so true. A lot of the times we beat up ourselves, and like I was saying before, you know, beating up yourself is self-inflicting. It's you're killing yourself basically because you're driving these negative emotional energy to a point where it puts you under stress. So even if you miss a day and you start talking about, oh, I'm so bad because I missed this day, I'm gonna go do this and try to military exercise or whatever, it doesn't make a difference. More than destroying your stress levels, because then now your body goes under stress because you said, oh, I'm gonna military exercise. Your body doesn't need military exercise, so it goes in stress. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna suffer today, so it holds that emotion down, and then now your body's under stress. So what happens then? The stress hormones comes up, and then instead of it doing what it's supposed to do, your body doing what it's supposed to do, it start, and then there we go. It sorts that. It end up bringing you back to square one. So it's kind of a,
Hmm.
you know, waste of time to worry about it or to self-critique about it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Are there any questions that you have coming up right now, or should we go into the next one?
Yeah, we should go into the next one. We only got a few more minutes to before our Zoom is over. So we got
Yeah.
for maybe like two more questions before we
Okay, great. So
need to wrap up.
I have one that I absolutely love and I really want to touch base on it. Somebody asked, what are the biggest benefits of doing this? And in my personal and professional experience, the biggest benefit of not only doing the soulful nourishment menu, but also the EFT and tapping is to reconnect with your body and get to know who you are again. We, as we grow, as we age, as we transition through the different phases of life, it's so easy to lose oneself and become disconnected from the one thing that's actually holding our soul, our very essence. This body, this human body that we were given, is literally the container to everything that makes who you are. And so the biggest benefit of doing this is getting to know your body, reconnecting with that divine container that's holding you, and really getting to know who you are as a person again. Because when it comes to the soulful part of the menu specifically, and even the tapping, it's getting to know what you enjoy doing
Right.
and what things bring you joy, excitement, happiness, adventure. I think that's the biggest benefit of this work. Adelita, what do you think?
Right. I mean, uh, going back to that nourishment part, for example, personally, um, I feel like I don't need to do all these sweaty workout to get some type of a benefit from it. But what I've noticed is like I lose pounds or I stay at a body image that suits me because I do what I enjoy doing. So instead of me running, I'll do yoga because I enjoy that. Or instead of me doing sprints or running is a big thing for me. So I would then maybe dance because dancing is a form of exercise and I enjoy doing that. So just finding the things that you enjoy and make you happy and turning them into this nourishment plan is one of the key things, as well as, if you feel that these little energies are blocked, go into your EFT, practice it, and you'll start feeling this shift within the body. And like you said again too, I want to elaborate on that, is connecting with your essence. We were born here for this. We just strayed away because of time and societal programming and all that type of stuff. So for me, I feel like this is the only thing you can lose here is negative stuff.
Yeah.
Everything else is a game. Everything else is a game.
It is. And I really want to touch base on how you used exercise as an example because it is such a great example. We are so often taught that we have to do exercise a certain way and for a certain period of time. And in the work that I do with the soulful connection specifically is removing the word exercise or the phrase workout and replacing it with movement, because movement can be fun, exciting, and joyful, and allowing yourself to experiment with what you like and don't like. Because bottom line is, if you don't enjoy doing something, you're not going to be able to stick to it.
And not only that,
And
not only that, Kat, but I want to add to that. Your body immediately looked at it as stress because when you don't like
yeah,
something, you feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, and that
yes,
brings stress. So understand
yeah.
and knowing that that is very important. This is
Hmm.
key. What
Yeah, doing something that you dislike for movement is far worse for you than doing something that maybe isn't talked about enough, like dancing or yoga or Rock climbing is another thing that I really enjoy doing personally. And these are all things that are looked as like hobbies versus a form of movement, but because these are things you enjoy doing, your body is actually going to be able to decrease the cortisol, and you're still gonna up your metabolism. You're still gonna be boosting those hormones. Whereas doing something that you don't like, your body's just gonna shut down and you're not gonna be able to do it.
That's it. That's it. Very, very important. Let's touch base on one more question here, Kat, and then we're gonna wrap it up because this is getting juicy and hyper for me. I would go on and on, but we can't, take away too many time
Yeah.
from our viewers.
I can talk about this stuff all day long, but yep, it is time to wrap up. So let's do one more question here. Um, Here's a good one. How does this help to break away from the diet mentality? Because you are beginning to see nourishment in other forms, and it's also a level of distraction almost. And so when we look at specifically releasing food rules, we have to recognize that nourishment can come in other forms. We have to be able to see that nourishment goes beyond food. It is not one dimensional.
Right.
And so that's where you're kind of training yourself to stop seeking nourishment through food and so much restriction, and allowing yourself to just feel good in your body, which is where the body connection comes in. But then the distraction level of that is also you are replacing intrusive thoughts with activities, practices, and exercises that you enjoy doing. And you're slowly deprogramming your brain that way.
Definitely.
Adelita, what do you have to add to that?
Guaranteed. I mean, I couldn't admit to that no more. The thing about it is, like I always say, people look at this as like, even for myself, I'm in it based on me because this has been a huge journey for me, and becoming a certified life master transformational coach has brought me to where I am today. I
Mhm.
elaborate on that. It's only 20% of what we eat is what caused anything in our lives. The biggest part is 80% is the decision that we make, what we're thinking, what we're telling ourselves, and knowing where it's coming from, getting to the root cause. I mean, you can take away all the food in the world, and that wouldn't help if you're not nourishing every area in your life. It's super,
Yep.
super important, especially if you want to see significant changes. And this is why
Yep.
I enjoy doing these type of stuff, because we get to share this information, and I get to collaborate with great-minded people like yourself to be able to help other people understand that sometimes we're sitting there like, why can't I gain weight, or why is my body like this, or why I'm so fat, or why I'm this and why I'm that, because a lot of people don't know these information. And for us to be able to support and give back to the community, I'm so grateful that we get to
Mhm.
do this and have technology to be able to you know share to the community. So yeah, that's what I
And
think
I
about
also want to say that both of these exercises are so incredibly important, because when it comes to disordered eating or even diagnosed eating disorders, which I have experience in too, it's one of those things where you have to come to a place where you can hold the truth of my body is the least interesting thing about me.
that. Right.
That is the bottom line. That is the truth that we're going for. But it is so hard to get there if you're not able to look at other areas of your life
Yeah.
and how your body is working as a whole within all of these different facets, right? And so I would say that's the golden ticket right there, is when you're able to see that your body does not define your worth and that it's the least interesting thing about you, then all of these other beautiful doors become accessible.
Definitely, absolutely right. I mean, I want to stress on that too. But time has come upon us. We want to like kind of wrap things up here with this cultivate and embrace your body image. I am superly happy that we came on here, and I'm very sure that you have got a lot of nuggets here, and there's a whole lot more to it. Remember, guys, to learn more about the EFT tapping or to get Kat's free gift of meditation, feel free to reach out to us. I will definitely leave my information in the bottom of in a comment in the bottom of this Facebook Live, and I'm sure Kat will do the same. In addition to that, I just want to let you guys know that don't feel afraid to reach out. A lot of us are walking around being stuck and unhappy and struggling. Guys, we are here for you. We're here to
And you know what? We've been through it too. We have both been there. We have been through it, and we've both worked with our own coaches to be able to overcome our struggles and our hardships.
That's right, definitely. So, like I said, thank you guys for watching, joining in. Share this video because I will leave it on Facebook, so this message can go keep moving. And I guess I will leave some time for Kat to wrap it up. Kat?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys would like to learn more about what I do or would like to discuss your own nourishment menu with me or how that can help you, you can always reach out to me. We will leave the link for the free meditation in the comments. And again, you can find me at Caitlin Nicole Fox on Facebook or on Instagram. It is at FFT by Kat Fox. So feel free to reach out. I would love to have a conversation with you. And thanks for joining us.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. And Kat, thank you for collaborating with me. I look forward to doing another one sometime soon with you again, based on a different topic. And we will talk to you guys in another video. Bye.
Bye.